I'm Emily.
And I'm Scott. And we want to share with you kind of a new realization we're coming to in our work with couples. And it all has to do with the dynamic when you meet a couple, and traditionally the guy is really kind of chill, he was relaxed, he's like, wow, he's a nice guy. And she's like agitated or plays victim or is what might be even called a bitch or bitchy. And you go, wow, she's the one with the problem. I mean, look at her. She's got all the stuff. Why doesn't she just chill out? He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of judgment that could come up, like she needs to take responsibility, she needs to change patterns, she needs to look at herself. And while all of that might be true, there is an underlying current of this deep pain that she has, that she's running inside of her body, and she's even taking responsibility for. And that's the pattern that we want to bust. That what if this person that's actually really in deep pain that we're judging as maybe playing victim is actually the urban shaman?
And we've seen that with several of the couples we're working with right now, where the woman, when you get to know her, she's highly empathic, highly sensitive, usually had a traumatic childhood that threw her off. It's kind of like, what is this crazy world I'm in? Oh, I guess my contribution is I'm going to take on the pain of my family. I'm going to take on the pain of my mother or my father. And then it just translates as an adult.
And what pours gasoline on the fire is that when we feel finger pointed by our husband, like, oh, that's just your pain, you know, you need to look at that. It is putting gasoline on the fire, because what it is that the repressed shadow within even him, his inability to acknowledge the pain and feel the pain and be with those uncomfortable parts of himself, is what amplifies her discomfort. Because if he's unwilling to feel it, then she's actually going to take it on and feel it for him.
So one thing we all can do to kind of change this pattern is, please, there's no such thing as bad feelings or negative emotions. There are the rainbow of feelings and experiences that we have as human beings. And that includes uncomfortable feelings like anger, confusion, hurt, sadness, and disappointment. And so if there are people in your life who are running those feelings, don't make them wrong, don't distance yourself, but bless them with your presence. Just what we're learning is when we drop in and say, okay, let's just listen to the sadness. Let's all share in the grief. Let's all mourn together. That's what creates breakthroughs and healing in the relationships.
I came up with this statement today that whatever is in the field wants to be revealed. So what are we either pushing away or repressing or running away from that simply wants to be exposed? Because then that's when it can be released. That's when there can be a level of healing that can take place.
Exactly. And so if you're in a couple dynamic, or if you know people that are in couple dynamics where one person's really chill and the other one's agitated, really think about that. And let's take the time to really give presence to the people who are playing that urban shaman role of carrying the pain for the family, or at least for the couple, for the dynamic. You know, in tribal cultures, that's what the shaman would do. He would take on the pain of the community, and he or she was revered and appreciated. But in our culture, if you take on the pain, you're seen as a victim or a drama queen or having negative and bad feelings.
And the key is that we're not saying that we want to stay there. Right. Once we acknowledge those emotions, once we acknowledge the pain, we want to allow it to move out, to release that responsibility so that we're not caught in that place of staying in the pain. And that's what wants to be revealed. It's like when you meet the shadow, it's able to then express itself fully, and then the gifts of the space, the healing, will reveal itself.
Brilliantly put. So we want to hear what you think about this. How do you relate to it? Which person are you? Are you the chilled person or the angry, agitated victim person? We want to hear your comments.
Yeah, or the person that tends to focus more on where can we go, where can we move forward, how can we focus on the positive, where can we find the solutions? Or is it that you actually are really wanting to give presence to some of these other parts?
We want to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching.
You're awesome.